Social media, we've been on a voyage of discovery, as many South African retailers and brands and consumer brands have been on. And initially it was I suppose a dumping ground for us to put our latest marketing messages, and it was used by consumers to often complain about service-related issues or tell us things which perhaps they thought we ought to know. It was a largely unregulated and unplanned and informal space. But through a lot of focus and some very good partnering with a variety of other vendors and certainly the film distributors, we've grown our social media bases and the engagement rates on those bases, which is the new metric everyone is chasing after. It's not just how many fans you have, but how engaged those fans are, to a point where it becomes a very relevant and salient media channel for us. We now have, for example, more 16-year-old boys following us on Facebook than are currently watching popular television programs where traditionally we would have bought media to tell them to come and see a film. That's a very, very interesting space for us to be in, and I'd be lying if I said we'd figured it all out. It is very definitely a journey of discovery for us. But what's really, really interesting is not only does this give us an additional media channel, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a swap away from traditional media, but the convergence of the two. And the idea of dual screening is a much lauded topic. Many people talk about, well, how do you participate on the television screen or on the cinema screen, as well as on the handsets or the laptops or the iPads. And that's something which we've started to experiment and had great degree of success with very, very early on here in South Africa. We ran a campaign called Movie FOMO. Many youngsters have this degree of FOMO. They don't want to miss out, and the cinema is still the best and first place to see a film. And so not seeing a film at a cinema does engender a sense of FOMO. So we ran a campaign with Sony Pictures for The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which was on our screens in April this year, whereby we encourage people not to have a sense of movie FOMO and miss Spider-Man in the best, most magnificent way possible, which is at a cinema. And we placed this on Twitter and on Facebook and on Mixit, and we broke the South African Twitter record for The Amazing Spider-Man 2 in terms of getting branded participation. That's not something we set out to do. We just trialed it and said, well, what would it look like if we had this idea of movie FOMO, which is a concept which we bought television advertising for. We obviously ran it within our loyalty programs, but also within the Twitter space, which had a great degree of success. And Twitter South Africa have now used that as a case study in their various conference materials and educational materials for other brands. So almost by accident, and as a happy accident, it's something which we're very, very proud of and will do more of going forward. What has been really interesting is because it is now a mass media, it is arguably the most above-the-line of the above-the-line media in terms of your ability to track it and track who's seeing your ad and when and how, but also how they're responding to it. So it provides a research facility, which perhaps is not something we identified 18 months or even 2 years ago. Whereas placing, a lot of science goes into placing television advertising, and it's good and well-developed science. What it doesn't tell you is did people actually see the ad, how engaged were they when they saw it, and what did they do as a result of it, which social media gives us that opportunity for. So not only can we hyper-segment to a particular cinema and say people within a certain geographic range and demographic profile and tell them about a film that's opening here at this cinema here in Pretoria, we can do that far more effectively than we can in traditional mass media, which has been very, very different from our mindset point of view, but also to use it as an opportunity to tell mass messages and gauge people's responses to it. So we'll often partner with distributors who will release a new trailer for a film 6, 7, 8 months in advance, and they will want to understand how people are reacting to it, or how they're responding to it. And social media does provide that feedback facility and that feedback medium to them, such that when that trailer plays on our big screen 3, 4, 5 months ahead of its theatrical release, they can sometimes choose and play different trailers based on audiences' responses to maximize the box office potential of that particular film.